Hello, I'm Marcy, and welcome to my very first sketchbook tour. I've just finished this. It took me 3 months to do, and I took 4 different online beginner classes or creative classes for sketching and drawing and painting. I am hooked, and I love it so much now as a way to relax. And I have a lot of flaws for sure, but I'm not really worried about that. I'm doing it for fun. This is some sticker swaps that I did with people on Instagram. And this was beginning my first Domestika course. I'll go through these pages pretty quickly. This was a sketch for a diorama that I made. And a lot of this are sort of beginner drawing and creativity exercises, which was a lot of fun to kind of get loosened up and used to drawing in a sketchbook without worrying about the outcome too much. So I'll go through these pages pretty quickly. I definitely notice here and there, why is this arm coming out of this person's head? I didn't really understand shoulders. This is a fun little game I did with my husband. And this was another diorama sketch. This girl was doing a Carrie-themed Halloween party. It did not turn out well for her, as you might imagine. And I post my dioramas on Instagram under the name Minnie's Break Free. These were some self-portrait sketches, some buildings near where I work. I sketched my son and my husband, definitely beginning stages, but I kind of like how I did this blanket here. His fingers don't make sense for the way he was really sitting. Some more doodling type prompts. My husband and I went to this Black Bear Americana Music Festival in October. Love it. It was our second time. And it's the first time I brought my sketchbook somewhere to sketch. And I filled in the watercolor after we got home though. This guy was really great. It was his first ride on this old-timey bicycle and he didn't know how to stop. So that was pretty fun to see. He was fine. Another diagram sketch for an angel and a demon who were playing poker on an asteroid between wars, as they do, you know. And then this was a new course, and I played with gouache. I had just gotten gouache for the first time. That was really fun to play that way. And that's what the background was on this too, kind of just spraying around gouache with a credit card and different dabs or something. This was to just kind of play with all my materials and try to make color wheels. That was very hard to try to mix the colors for me. I just had 3 primary colors and white and black. I followed along with drawing with Waffles. I love her on YouTube, and this was her zombie cheerleader character and a character she made based on Reese's peanut butter cups. So she's a lot of fun, and I had just gotten Posca pens for the first time and was trying those out. This was a prompt to kind of make like a mind bank of some everyday objects, and I would use these in my final project for this class. This was kind of fun, drawing various celebrities that were in people.com. Some of them kind of look like the people a little bit, so, you know. More designing my final project for this class. It's me sitting in my favorite chair with my laptop and all the things I love around, some things for artwork and coffee. I love photography and reading, yoga and tennis. And then this was a trip I took with my husband to Amsterdam. That's one of the canals. So a lot of the things I love all in one place. Another sketch for a diorama. This was about a young girl falling in love with a Wendigo, but they could only be safe together under the full moons until he gave her some golden antlers, and then they could be together forever. It was a love story. This, I followed a tutorial on YouTube, and I thought it was really helpful to understand where parts of faces are supposed to go. I designed this sticker. I was very pleased with how it came out, based on a mini I had painted for a diorama for a haunted amusement park. And the mini I bought, I think it was a Reaper mini, but then I had added this humongous cotton candy And it took me a few tries, and then this was the sketch I scanned and colored in on the computer, and I really liked how that came out. And I've been swapping them with people on Instagram, so that's pretty fun. This was maybe the first prompt that I actually thought came out really good. I like how this looks. It was to animalize yourself. So that doesn't really look like me, but just kind of like a girl and a tiger, and then taking parts of each to make this shape. I thought that was really fun. And I love the texture of the gouache too. I really layered it on thickly in some places. This was fun too. This prompt was to combine elements from a visit to a market. And I chose this market we had gone to in Cusco, Peru. A woman, a female vendor who was there. These were supposed to be pig heads. They looked nothing like pigs. And my husband gave me advice about where the ears go. Putting things on the other side of the body is still very confusing for me. And I needed to like shorten up the snout. And then it did look kind of like a pig. These were based on Christina's World. I love that painting. And it's maybe my first memory of art was my dad showing me the painting from an old coffee table book, and we were both wondering, why is she in the field? What's she doing? I just had the primary colors in black and white still of gouache, and I tried and tried and tried to make brown. I could not do it. That happened to me here too. I kept mixing and mixing and getting more and more and more green. So I finally made her hair green because I didn't want to waste all that paint. Some games, a corkscrew with various prompts of what to do, wet on wet watercolor technique. I tried that for the first time. I got better at it later. I got a fountain pen for the first time. Love the fountain pen. I love drawing with it. Cross-hatching, not so much, but it's all right. Didn't really like working with crayon. And then this was watercolor. It's all right. I was just trying to like loosen up a little bit with these elephants, which I think I kind of did. This was a whole bunch of different primates. I like how some of them came out. I don't know how this sort of rooster part got on that monkey, which I don't know. I must have forgotten what was in the photo. I like this one, and I teach middle school, and the kids really liked it too. I sketched them while they were playing a game, and then I showed them the finished product later on. I like this spread a lot too, from a reference, Hero's Guide to Warriors, and I just loved flipping through the book and picking out a few different warriors and weapons and the helmet that I wanted to try, so I thought that was pretty cool. A new class, and I practiced 2-point perspective, which I sorely need. I find it very confusing, and I think I'm getting a little better. Getting the arm on the other side of the body, again, was challenging. And trying shading of light and dark with watercolor. I thought that came out okay. And then I was pretty psyched with these. The prompt was a blob, and then you make drawings over it, and scribbles, and you make drawings over it. And the thing I loved about it was how much I noticed the growth from this silly thing. I guess I just didn't even take it seriously. I thought, oh, who cares? What am I supposed to draw? But it's so poor. And then I kind of like how these came out. I think I especially like this sort of bull type creature, kind of an octopus type creature. I kind of like the face here. I kind of like this bull. So it's fun to notice some development. And then this was taking another shot at improving that dinosaur drawing, and I think I did get the perspective a little bit better. And then this was the final 30-day challenge for my 4th course, and I sketched every day for 30 days following the prompts. I loved this one, to draw something in a new medium or use a new medium, and I made my own stamps out of cork and then stamped them. There were these curlicues, this face shape, a heart, and an M for my name. And then I thought, after the fact, of putting them together into a figure. We've been playing Gloomhaven a lot, so much fun. Again, some of the views from the top, some from the side, so perspective is very challenging. Bún Chả Obama in Hanoi, Vietnam was one of the favorite meals I've ever had in my life. And I drew the soup. Oh, so delicious. Served with all these garlic and noodles and herbs, and then you can kind of season the soup how you want. Oof, oof. This surprised me. I never draw anything kind of so dark and creepy with this kind of color palette, but I like how it came out. It's just like so dark. It's kind of like a nightmare. More blobs. And then this was to personify some objects, which I really like how the mailbox came out, and I kind of like this match too. And then I love this spread with the texture from this page going into this page. I really love these two pages. Some more texture and 2-point perspective practice. Mardi Gras, we went when the kids were little, and I really like this because I combined 3 different locations in this one illustration. So this was the parade route, and then this was from Bourbon Street. We were only there briefly with little kids, not appropriate for little kids. And then the French Quarter too with the balcony. So I thought this was pretty cool. This was okay. I didn't really like it except for Spider-Man, which is just straight from the reference really, but I thought it came out pretty cool how he's busting out of his space. Muir Woods, so awesome to visit. Blind contour drawing, impossible, and I don't really get the point of that, but I tried it. Just a prompt about my classroom with imaginative elements added. This was about an invention and like from my imagination. So you put on this gizmo and it converts your artistic vision into the finished product. Self-portrait, I hate this. I hate the colors and how it came out, but it's still, I feel like I got a little better at it. A tiger and then a tiger skeleton. I kind of like how these two go together, and I tried to do sort of a galaxy in the back. I like it against the moon, and at the last minute I outlined it in white gel pen, which I really like. And then this was combining a crocodile and a seahorse. So that was from my imagination. I did use some references for the animal heads, but I was pretty happy with that. And then this was to make a scribble and then make an illustration based in the parameters of the scribble. I guess I like how the colors are different than what I usually do and more rich, more kind of loose. That's all right, kind of a fairy. I kind of like parts of it, the butterflies with gel pens. It's okay. I kind of like the mushroom. This was a glass of whiskey. I got my husband this glass for Christmas. And I guess what I don't like about it is the lack of contrast, that all the colors are all the same. But that's also what I kind of like about it, that the whiskey and the fire and the bricks and the coffee table kind of all had the same browns and oranges, which I thought was pretty cool. This was pretty fun. I added that afterwards because I've been obsessed with the Beatles documentary. It's so good, and I was just singing I've Got a Feeling nonstop for 3 days on end. This was really fun. I put like salt on wet watercolor, and it made that texture, which I thought was cool. And I had to illustrate some emotions with abstract shapes, so I thought that was fun. Bleak, optimistic, ambitious, raging. I showed that to my students and had them guess the emotions. They thought that was kind of fun. An orc mobile, perspective problems, but I still thought it looks pretty cool. I looked at a reference of a truck, but then I added some of this stuff from my imagination, so I thought that was pretty cool. And I think the orc came out pretty good. Again, I'm like from the side, sometimes from the top, sometimes I'll work on it. My husband brought home a human skull. He's a science teacher, and that was I forget what the prompt was for that one, but, oh, it was a still life. So I paired it with these chess pieces I have that my dad had made many years ago, and the colors are very similar, so that was kind of neat. This was about my day. I kind of like this chainsaw dude. He did an assembly at my school. This was to draw hands again in a variety of ways, and I did sign language, spelling out yay, Christmas break begins. This was my husband's idea, that I had the lines in the palm, and I just added this one little thing to make the A, so it says Y-A-Y right in the picture. My Graham's old sewing machine, I loved that when I was a kid. She would make me doll's clothes, and I would just look at the designs in this beautiful black sewing machine all the time. And then I really like this one. It was to draw something that scares you, and insomnia is definitely something I struggle with. I've gotten a little better recently, but sometimes if I'm in a period of high stress, I can go weeks and weeks without a good night's sleep, and it's really awful, really, really awful. So being wide awake at 2 a.m., looking at the clock, which is a monster, oof, definitely something I really struggle with. And then I recreated a tiger and a tiger skeleton, and I just decided to combine them in one illustration. This is my most recent diorama. I love how it came out, Baba Yaga's house. And I made a doll for the first time with a potato head and just a little body out of floral tape and wire. Love it. I'll put a picture of that in here. And then this was just a collage with some watercolor paper I had used. And then this is just kind of odds and ends. And a pocket I made, and I put little things in, letters from my sticker swaps and things like that. So thanks for checking out my very first sketchbook. I loved working on this, and I'm going to jump into a new one. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.